Hello again, guys. So I came across this video that was made by Sharon from the Now Daily Bread channel. And when I saw it, I believe I had received the interpretation immediately. Now, I would greatly appreciate it if any of you guys could share this video with her so that she may also gain understanding concerning that which Yah had shown to her. And I believe it's also in perfect timing, because this is about to play out very, 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 very soon, guys. So now let's quickly go through it, and I'll share my thoughts and what was revealed to me by the Spirit of Yah.
Hi everyone, I want to share with you a prophetic dream that I had just last Sunday. So in the dream, I was on a platform with my sister, and there was somebody else there with us as well. And there was no wall. So if you walked to the edge of the floor and missed a step, you would drop off and fall. So on the platform where we were standing, there was no wall basically. It was just wall-less, can I say? And if you missed a step, you would fall. So anyway, like a cliff, that sort of thing.
Okay, so right away she mentioned that she was there with her sister. I believe she also mentioned that part in her video as well. That part is obviously speaking about the body of Christ. Now, this is actually correct. There's a lot of people in the body of Christ that are in the same position like her sister here currently. So it's not only the dream and the interpretation is not only for her, it's for a large group of people that's in the body of Christ. Okay, so she went on to say that she was standing on a platform that didn't have any walls, kind of like a cliff. So this place is very dangerous. And what I understand it to mean is certain cryptocurrencies. Okay, I'm going to name them all out. Well, I can't name them all out. I'm just going to give you guys ideas. But it's basically certain cryptocurrencies that a large majority in the body of Christ have invested in. And by investing in them, they've placed themselves in this position, literally like on a platform with these cryptocurrencies. These cryptocurrencies is basically also on the platform as well, because they're so high. So it's talking about cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Many of you guys out there that are in the body of Christ have invested and are still invested, still holding onto Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on a very high platform, guys. You see, and also Ethereum, that also is on a very high platform, which is very dangerous. Bitcoin, Ethereum, I'm just going to name out some of them, but it's basically all blue chip cryptocurrencies, guys. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano, XLM, even Dogecoin, guys, still has a lot more room to crash. Bitcoin Cash, Monero, Chainlink. Guys, I'm pretty sure you get the idea by now. Even HBAR at 9 cents, Litecoin at 53 cents. All of these blue chip cryptocurrencies, guys, they're going to crash significantly lower than they're currently at, than the prices that they're currently at right now. So all of these coins are literally on a platform, a high and very dangerous platform. And the fact that she mentions that there wasn't any walls on this high platform, it's indicating that they're not protected, because the purpose of the walls is for protection. And currently, where these cryptocurrencies are at, they're not protected, because the majority of them have already pumped, and Bitcoin is getting ready to fall significantly and dragged a whole lot of them down with it even further. And as I've stated many times now, many are going to be surprised as to how low a lot of these cryptocurrencies are about to crash. Many are going to be surprised. And unfortunately, even as I've seen it in visions, a lot of people's accounts are going to be wiped out. I've also seen that people end up taking their own lives after this crash had played out. And that is just unfortunate, because they should have positioned themselves differently. So a lot of these coins are not protected. They have already pumped and they're on a very high platform, even including, guys, Shiba Inu currently. It's still not time to buy or even to hold Shiba Inu. But then again, it's entirely up to you guys. Perhaps there's some of you guys out there, your financial status is a little bit different than others, and you can afford to hold Shiba Inu through the incredibly deep dip that's coming. And that's just to say the least. I wouldn't even call it that, because I actually saw that Shiba Inu will crash down to zero. It will crash down to ICO numbers, which was, I think, around 10 zeros. So yeah, that's what that part means. Majority of the cryptocurrencies right now in the markets are in a very precarious situation where they're entirely dependent upon Bitcoin. And as it has been revealed to myself and many others, Bitcoin is about to tumble significantly. Now, just the other day, 2 nights ago, I saw in a vision that Bitcoin crashed down to $35,000. And if I'm seeing these numbers that are coming, that causes me to lean more towards Bitcoin crashing all the way down to $20,000 and even down to that $15,000 area, where I've told you guys that if you were to see Bitcoin crash below 15 grand, then the flash crash to zero would be in play. And as a result of what I've just seen, I'm leaning more towards that being the scenario for Bitcoin currently. I honestly believe, as a result of what I'm looking at and what I've been paying attention to, I believe that we're going to crash in stages all the way down to zero, which would literally make the majority of these cryptocurrencies flash crash all the way down to zero as well, down to much lower prices than the majority of us have been expecting or thought that would be possible. So yeah, that's what that part means.
So somehow I dropped off and I dropped off the edge and I started to fall. And I remember falling, and I remember the feeling of falling. And there was a friend or a brother, or it was some relative that was on the ground floor. And I knew that they were there. So I started to call out to them to let them know that I had dropped off and I was falling. And I was wanting them to know so that they could catch me, basically. And in that dream, I got the understanding that where they were standing was right where I would land. So if they prepared themselves, they would be able to catch me, basically. And and then that was pretty much the part of the dream that I'm going to be sharing.
Okay, so she said that there was a brother that was on the ground. That is very important. And she knew that where the brother was is where she was going to land. So they were in a position where they could catch her or they could help her. You see, so I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the way that I'm positioned, but not only myself, several others as well, they're positioned, they're literally on the ground. And I'm going to explain what it means to be on the ground. It's two meanings, actually. But first, before I get into that part, so she said that she was falling and she had the feeling, the feeling of falling, which is not necessarily a good feeling. So it's like I mentioned earlier, I tried to explain earlier, the platform represents these blue chip cryptocurrencies, but not only blue chips, but all of these cryptocurrencies that are still high and they have a lot more room to crash. It represents these cryptocurrencies and the people in the body of Christ that have invested in them. So when these cryptocurrencies starts to fall significantly lower than what they would have expected, they're going to experience that feeling as well, that feeling of falling, literally. You're going to experience like you're falling along with the cryptocurrencies, which is not a good feeling. But then there are some of us that are on the ground. What does that mean? Well, it's two things. One of the meaning is being in cash. We have the cash on the side ready, whether in low limit buy orders or literally sitting on the exchange. It's the same thing, but preferably in low limit buy orders. So everyone that is holding cash or having cash sitting on the exchange ready to purchase or in low limit buy orders, you see, all of these people, they're on the ground. they're in a safe position as opposed to the high platform. So that's number one. The second part is there are a few cryptocurrencies that have already crashed. As a matter of fact, they've been crashing for years and they have flatlined. They're literally on the ground. They have hit rock bottom. These cryptocurrencies are either at the bottoms or very, very near to hitting the bottoms. Now, because you can't fall from the ground, if you're lying flat on the ground, you can't fall because why? You're already on the ground. These cryptocurrencies are safe. And I've mentioned some of them to you guys already. There's not a lot of them because there's other cryptocurrencies that have come to nothing. They've flatlined as well, but they're not prophetic. I'm only talking about the prophetic ones here, the ones that I know about and others that Yah had revealed to others as well. So I've shared with you guys Lunk. Lunk is most definitely one of them. Lunk had collapsed for years now. But regardless of the fact that if Bitcoin starts to crash, it may start to crash with it. Regardless of that, none of us knows when it's going to turn around and start to spike. But what I do know, it is going to spike in reaction to a Bitcoin crash. Unlike these other blue chips, they're going to go down with Bitcoin. But because Lunk has already crashed, there's literally far less room for it to crash as much as those blue chips, and much more room for it to pump. And it will most definitely pump. As a matter of fact, Lunk will serve as a safe haven for the whales, but not only for whales, but several other people that are in several other of these coins that will also be crashing. They'll be migrating from these coins and be, FOMOing into coins like Lunk that is on the ground, and also some of these other meme coins that have already flatlined and are laying on the ground, that I've mentioned, such as Volt Inu and Kishu Inu and BNB Tiger. We've just recently received prophecy that BNB Tiger may crash down to its all-time low, which is in the 12 zeros. But very shortly thereafter, it's not even that far from those numbers though. Very shortly thereafter, it's going to head to those prophetic numbers, which I myself have mentioned and several others. It's going to pump up to 28,000%. And also, I've just recently shared one that is called Empire. That one is very good as well. That has flatlined. It's literally on the ground. There's almost no room for it to crash. Almost no room for it to go any lower. So these coins have already flatlined. These coins can be interpreted as being on the ground. And so there's several of us that have positioned ourselves in purchasing these coins and holding them in expectation for this huge Bitcoin crash and sell-off that's getting ready to occur. And when Bitcoin is crashing, these specific coins are going to be pumping in reaction to Bitcoin's crash. At some point, they're going to take off. Lunk, Empire, Volt Inu, Kishu Inu coins like these, they're going to take off at some point during Bitcoin's crash. But as for the other coins, like many of these big blue chip coins, Bitcoin is going to draw them down significantly lower than the prices that they're currently at. So that, I believe, is an interpretation of what our beloved sister here had seen. And in regards to catching her, whenever she receives this message, if any of you guys out there were to forward this message to her, this video, that would prevent her and others like her that are in those higher positioned coins. This revelation would help and prevent them from falling and from ending up in that position. So that's what I believe that part means. So I believe that, I've given her that revelation so as to prevent her from experiencing that fall. So please, if any of you can go ahead and share this message so that she can get it and position herself, but not only herself, but several of you guys out there who may be in a similar position, that you can take advantage and so prepare and position yourself to take advantage of this crash that is impending and avoid any kind of losses. So that is all I'm going to say in regards to this dream that our beloved sister had. You guys, please go ahead and share it with her and any others that you know of that are heavily invested in these cryptocurrencies that are getting ready to crash, like these blue chips, XRP, XLM, Litecoin, people that that are heavily invested in these coins, because they will be wiped out if they don't jump out and set low limit buy orders for these coins that are going to crash significantly lower than they're currently at. So there you have it, guys. Please take very good care of yourselves. Peace, shalom. Until next time.